It was only 6 days ago when we ran our last race in the BodyArmor Pro Series when Drew Webb went to victory lane in Watkins Glen. Well, we crossed the country and head to Portland, Oregon and the Oregon International Speedway, this fictional 1.5-mile racetrack based off the original Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it's going to be a fascinating race here today. Yes, I said it again, but it will be a fascinating race. 41 laps of action around this high-speed oval. And this championship battle starting to become a little more clear. How will it all go down here today at Oregon? It's the Oregon 100K, the 12th race of the season in the 2024 BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Oregon International Speedway. We are here for race 12 of 15. Only 4 races remain until we crown a champion at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in mid-October, and once you know it, we're at one of the many iterations of the Atlanta Motor Speedway in a way. This is a reskin version of the old Atlanta, and moved across the country to Portland, Oregon. Of course, this racetrack was brainstormed by Brendan Wilmington, created by Trey Wright. We used it for the first time in the Sprint Series back in May. And we also got ourselves a special race coming up on Saturday. The Wawa Cup Series is back with an invitational race on Saturday here at this racetrack. But tonight, it is a points-paying race, and we got a championship on the line. I'm joined alongside Eddie Debs for the call of this one here. And last week at Watkins Glen, Drew Webb led every single lap in the number 13 car on Friday the 13th. Well, it is now September 19th, and there's no 19 in this field. So with that all in mind, how do you think this race is going to play out here? No pit stops in this event. It was difficult to make moves in the Sprint Series race back in May. Are we going to see that here today with these Cup cars?
I would assume we see something like that, but I feel like this race is going to have a couple of, 2 real main strategies. Coming up on the Ground Industries Double Dega, the next couple of races, I feel like there are some drivers who know with the chaos that Talladega brings that they're going to want points, thus they're going to be more aggressive. And I feel like there are going to be some drivers who are looking ahead to Double Dega as a chance to get perhaps more points, so they might be overlooking this track. This could come up with 2 different types of drivers, some more aggressive than others, which could really make for, again, a very weird, but in the end, probably exciting race out here in Portland.
It's going to be very interesting to see how it all goes down. I didn't say fascinating that time. That's a good thing. I said that all the time at Watkins Glen, but we're going to have to see how these points end up shaking out. That is the big kicker, because it was very tight going on the Watkins Glen. And after all the shenanigans that went down at Watkins Glen, it became a lot clearer on who may dominate in this championship. And these 2 drivers who are top 2 in points are starting top 10 in this race here today. It's Drew Webb and Blaine Keys. Once you know it, 2 guys, both of them could easily have been Wawa Cup Series champions at this point. Of course, we know what happened a few weeks ago at Darlington between Ludovic Schrett and Blaine Keys with that one. But Drew Webb, of course, getting that race win at Watkins Glen, holds an 8-point lead on Blaine Keys, who has got 82 points this season. And then behind them is where everything gets really close. Trey Bartow now sits 3rd in points, 23 behind. Christian Master is still with 66 points, 24 behind. Jesse Turner is tied with Master for that position in 4th place. And then you had Stapleton and Crampton tied for 6th, 25 points behind. Joe Rutkowski 26 behind, Barretto 29 behind. A little bit more of a gap there. We only have ourselves 5 drivers who can mathematically take the points lead outright from Drew Webb in this race. So that's a lot less, I should say, than what we had last week going in the Watkins Glen. But hey, we'll only have run 1 race here before on the channel. We really don't know what to expect here today in this one. With these Cup cars, it's 41 laps, no pit stops. These guys are going to be going for it the whole way through. And we'll have to see if we end up with a race like we did in that Sprint Series race, and the driver who starts on pole gets the advantage and dominates the event. But they didn't win that one. That was Corey Case who dominated the Oregon race. It was actually Eric Monaco who went to victory lane in that one on, I believe, was a last lap pass in that event. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening here today. We do know that's Travis Crampton starting on the pole position alongside Caleb Rose there in row number 1. A great opportunity for Caleb Rose to finally peek through and get a 2nd career win on the channel. Blaine Keys, who has a great opportunity of taking the points lead from Drew Webb going in the Double Dega a couple weeks from now alongside Trey Bartow in the 75. We got Reggie Fogelman, Joe Rutkowski in row number 3, Drew Webb and Justin Zeidel in row 4, and then we got ourselves Tanner Parton and Harry Larvin Alonso rounding out the top 10 starting positions here. Of course, based off of the fastest lap of the prior race at Watkins Glen, so no surprise to see Igor Brito and Stuart Gratton at the back of the field because they really never got a full lap in that race because they wrecked, I should say, on lap 2. Let's go ahead and get these drives to roll off here from the Oregon International Speedway. And Eddie, we have our 2 main championship competitors at this moment of the season. Starting in the top 10, will one of them go to victory lane here today, or will it be somebody else getting it done here in the Oregon 100K?
I know I could say something about Keys needing again, the key to winning the championship would come at this race. Like I said earlier, that, of course, we know didn't play out. But I think this is Travis Crampton's night. He's only down 27 points. Realistically, a win, even if Webb gets at least a top 10, would put him right square in the thick of it with him and Keys to probably make him the 3rd championship contender. And he started on the pole. Again, statistically, we've only had 1 race, but we know, as you said, the pole can dominate here. I think this is the night he needs to really put himself in the title conversation by dominating and therefore winning here in Portland.
So we can expect Travis Crampton to blow up on lap 5. Thank you very much for that, Eddie. And it's not just you either. Andrew did the same thing. Andrew picked Stuart Gratton to win at Watkins Glen on Friday night, and we all know what happened to Stuart in that race, so we got a really bad streak going. It started when he picked Blaine Keys at Kentucky. We have not recovered from it since then, so we'll have to see if anything does in fact happen to Travis in this race. All right. 41 straight laps, no pit stops. It could very well go caution-free here today. We're excited to see how it goes down. Travis Crampton and Caleb Rose going to lead us to the green flag. Here we go in the Pacific Northwest for the BodyArmor Pro Series. It's already getting kind of crazy up front, but Travis Crampton will lead the first lap of the race here. The Oregon International Speedway, we've got Blaine Keys, who had a nose to the inside but could not hold it. The tires will wear out as this run goes along. And that's the case for a lot of these races that we go to here in the BodyArmor Pro Series, but no pit stops in any of these races, so that makes it very difficult to really get an advantage later on in the run if you eat up your tires. We got 3 wide here. Matt Tuck, Tanner Parton, Trey Bartow. They got to be careful not to get into each other. Of course, we went caution-free in the Sprint Series race, but it doesn't mean we'll have another caution-free race here. These guys are very aggressive, and how about Tanner Parton? Contact there with Reggie Fogelman into the corner.
Looking at 3 wide again with Ladovic. They're gonna hold it down. I think the first thing to start off the chaos was Dylan Matthews. He's now moved all the way up to 5th, just had a terrible start. That sort of mixed up the back. I mean, Ladovic, second to last, but starting to creep up on the top 10 is, oh boy, something you don't want to see if you're looking for chaos. Drew Webb has made it all the way up to 2nd. He's gotten by Rose, he's gotten by Keys. At this point, looking like it's him and Crampton who's getting out to a very good start so far. 79, Matt Tuck just finished 10th. He's quite a bit out of it, but I mean, won recently at Thompson in the Lenovo Pro Series. He could be looking for a win today. Yeah, man, just a lot more cycling than I think, at least I expected, out of this start of the race.
While they've cycled back behind our race leader has actually led every lap so far, and he's done a great job holding on to it. Travis Crampton trying to take advantage of that pole opportunity that he got here on this racetrack. Of course, next week when we head to Talladega, all of that goes out the window. This is really the last racetrack on the schedule where you start really matters to where you finish. This is tight here between Barreto and Fogelman, and they are really close off the exit of the corner right there, but they keep it together. And Matt Tuck going for 2nd there on the 13 of Drew Webb. I'm sure Crampton loves to see that in terms of this championship, because Crampton, like you said, Eddie, still very much in contention for the title here in the Pro Series. Matt Tuck, of course, if he gets a race victory, he gets another race victory in the Grattan Industries Double Dega, as you said. I'm surprised you remember that that's what it was going to be called. I didn't think we really announced it too much that that's what it was going to be. But yeah, Grattan Industries is going to be sponsoring a couple of races the rest of this year. Drew Webb going after right there to the inside of the 79. Of course, Drew Webb going to be driving for Grattan Autosport next season in the Wall Cup Series, so he's actually the one replacing Matt Tuck over there, and they're racing it out for second.
Well, ironically enough, I have to blame Matt Tuck for telling me about the Grattan Industries Double Decker, or at least being more announced of it. But man, the more you said it, and now the more I think about it, this really is the battle between the two cars. Will be, I mean, the person who raced alongside Ludovic Charette this year and the person racing next year. I haven't seen a lot of temper out of Matt Tuck, so I think he's taken it rather well. I said something about in my 10 for 10 prediction for Circular Truck Series. That doesn't matter anymore. Drew Webb's going to get it. And speaking of the Webb-Tuck, I don't know, oiling thing, they're going together. So is Tuck's going to help, or is Tuck going to sneak to the inside for 3 wide?
Let him cook. Let him cook. He's going to go 3 wide for the race lead here at Oregon. He had it. He saw the opportunity. He took it. Drew Webb's going to lead that lap, but now Matt Tuck taking it away, like you mentioned, Eddie. Won a couple weeks ago in the Lenovo Pro Series at Thompson in the Hers 200, I should mention. And I know he'd love to get another Pro Series win just in the other Pro Series, and he's got the race lead here on lap 9 of 41. That was a great move out of Matt Tuck, and our third different leader of the race here, the driver, that number 79. Up to 4th is Tanner Parton. You got Dylan Matthews up here as well, and then you got Blaine Keys, Justin Zidell. This racetrack, it is very different than Kentucky, but in terms of the type of races we have in the BodyArmor Pro Series, this is a very similar race to Kentucky, and I think that's going to suit Justin Zidell's style. And he is up inside the top 10. He's got some points right now, and I know he'd love to get his second win of the season. We still only have one driver who has won multiple races this year, and that was Nathan Stapleton, who won Hillside and Coca-Cola all the way back in March and April. And since then, he really has not found much speed, though he is still 6th in the championship standings, only 25 points behind, still very much in contention for this championship. Drew Webb to the inside of Travis Crampton, that's for second, as Matt Tuck continues to lead here in this Oregon 100K.
This might be where Matt Tuck does what Travis Crampton couldn't and pull away, especially if Webb and Crampton, the cars look about equal, so they're probably going to be side by sides. Good point out for Dylan Matthews, currently now in 4th, fighting with a lot of the championship drivers, except for the part. Blaine Keys is now to reinside, and with a train behind him, that might not last very long. Igor Barreto is somehow all the way up into the top 6 after what happened in starting on the back row and after what happened last week, so man, that car is going fast. But Webb made the pass on Crampton, so maybe my prophecy wasn't for long. This might be another 3-way battle for the lead, as Igor Barreto looks for the top 5 spot after starting on the last row. Never mind, make that 4th.
He's coming there in that 71 machine. Tanner Parton's going to get a run. He's going to do the same thing Matt Tuck did. He's going to make it 3 wide. He was looking, but he didn't quite have the momentum. And how about Igor Barreto really trying to rebound? He got the win at St. Joltis in the Speed Fest, and then wrecked out at Watkins Glen last week with Stuart Grattan. And that was a very interesting situation there, with Jesse Turner kind of getting in the Grattan, getting him squirrely into the carousel and bumping up into the 71. Stewart has not been able to rebound as well as he would like in this one so far. He's outside the top 10 right now, but we're going to have to see if that 71 can close in on these top 3. They haven't fallen off too much from these drivers. Matt Tuck continues to lead. Crampton still battling with Webb. He's got 2nd place, and he's got some momentum here on the 79 machine. Both Blaine Keys and Drew Webb inside the top 10, but Drew Webb is significantly further ahead than the 99 right now. So the way they currently run, Drew Webb would hold on to that points lead going in the Double Dega, and would have a significant points lead, at least considering the way this season has gone. No one has really had a significant points lead all season in this BodyArmor Pro Series, but Drew Webb, especially if he gets the win here today, he's got a shot at that because he's got a nose to the inside. He will definitely be the champion favorite if he can get the race victory here today at the Oregon Speedway. We got Igor Barreto there going for 3rd on Travis Crampton, and this 71 has a lot of speed in his race car. Like you said, Ed, he started in the back row of this race, and now he is up to the 3rd position here at Oregon.
Something I'm a bit surprised about is Drew Webb really being, I mean, he hasn't been totally aggressive, and I can agree it's kind of his style, but you'd think, especially where he is right now, he'd be content just sticking to the top 5 and just gaining on this lead, especially with Crampton and Keys and Bartow and basically everyone else behind him. Tuck, I mean, he's 57 points back. You're not that much worried about him unless he wins a Dega. But, I mean, look at that aggression. He's going for the left quarter panel every single time they've entered turn 1 and 2 in these past couple laps. He definitely wants to get this win. I'm just surprised he keeps going for it. I mean, I think he'd try to keep it, but, I mean, again, what do I have to say? He's going inside. He might fight to lead this lap. And I think he will. Is he going to hold him on? No. Tuck's got the outside turn 4 run, but he's going to hold with him into 1 and 2.
If he can hold it right here, he might have a shot at it. Crampton as well, battling with Barretto. Tanner Parton and Dylan Matthews have kind of pulled away from the rest of the pack, and then it's Blaine Keys, Trey Bartow, Jesse Turner, and Justin Zeidel, the top 10. And they're still side by side, and this is the point where those tires are starting to wear out, and both lines essentially run the same. Drew Webb trying to get this advantage on Matt Tuck, but Tuck continues to lead on the outside lane. We're not quite halfway through this Oregon 100K quite yet.
Here we go.
But here we go. I think Drew Webb's going to take it away from the 79 right here. Matt Tuck's got to run on the outside, but Crampton might be able to help out this 13. He might have a shot at the race lead as Drew Webb clears Matt Tuck. And here comes the 37 Crampton trying to take it back away from Drew Webb.
He's going for the left quarter panel. He's got at least a nose. He's going to have to send it into the corner if he wants to blind. He's not going to be able to. Drew Webb going to get out in front of these two cars. He's going to hold them side by side. Crampton tries the same move on Webb Webb was using on Tuck, just keeping to that left quarter panel. He's going to leave the lane open if Crampton can get the run into 3 and 4. I don't know if Crampton's going to be able to. Hugo Barretto might have to try and push Crampton to the lead, but he is not. He's going up to help Tuck. Just like that, we've got 4 cars sort of in limbo as Crampton, again, he's just stuck out there. But again, you said with the lines running similarly, they're just going to have to keep going side by side until one eventually clears. Man, Webb's just not getting the run off of turns 1 and 2 that he was to try and pass, although he is going to be able to try and block Crampton here. See if that makes a difference. It's going to help Crampton at least clear Tuck and maybe bring Barretto with him. Man, these 4, and with how the lines are going, I don't want to say it is anyone's race, but oh, as I say that, Tuck going to the inside of Crampton, that looked like contact.
I was very close there into the corner. Crampton had to lift, and that set him up the racetrack, and now Matt Tuck has an advantage back to the inside of Drew Webb for this race lead. He's got a nose in the turn 3, and it looks like the lead might change hands again. It's anybody's guess on who's going to get this win between these top 4, and don't count out Dylan Matthews and Tanner Parton either. But Matt Tuck made that look easy, making the pass on Drew Webb to take it back away here on lap 24. Igor Barretto to the inside there. Travis Crampton trying to take 3rd. He has a great opportunity. Of course, his run stalled once he got to this top 3. But he is still up there trying to get as many points as he can. To keep in mind, he's only 29 behind Drew Webb. But he's still behind Drew Webb on the racetrack as well. And I know he'd love to pass him and get closer to Drew in this title. Blaine Keys is struggling. He's got to be careful not to fall outside the top 10. He's got to get something in this race with Drew Webb ahead of him right there. Of course, with Double Dega coming up, it's anybody's guess on who's going to win there. But here, these guys had the opportunity of their track position to get a good run. And you definitely want to take advantage of a good starting position at a track like this. And if Blaine falls outside the top 10, that's a huge loss for that team. And there's a good chance he might. Logan Williams moving his way inside the top 10. And how about Nathan Staplin as well, trying to creep his way into this top 10, trying to stay in championship contention himself. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case. But they're single file up front now. No more double wide at the moment. Matt Tuck with a pretty significant lead, all things considered, on that 13, because they ain't going side by side right now.
It's looking very interesting right now, especially if you can, I guess, consider dynamics. You have Titan Fury Racing owner, the guy who put Titan Fury Racing into basically the championship 2023 and Race Room 2024. You have the guy who Drew Webb is replacing at Grattan Autosport. And you have Travis Crampton, who's just been looking for wins every once in a while. I believe NS Racing. I believe he won at Michigan in the Cup Series, so he got one recently. I mean, it's interesting that these 4 would come to the front of the pack with less than 15 laps to go. Just kind of holding single file. Again, maybe the tires just finally wore out, and they're just going to have to wait and see if they can hold until they can make some big moves at the very end. That's just about it. Looking back at the top 10. Yeah, man, Stapleton moved up into 8th. And Keys had to get back down low. He did. And now he's going to just have to sneak into the top 10 at this point to get points because he is stuck in a pack.
How about Stapleton here in the 97? He's found a lot of speed as of late around Jesse Turner right there for 7th. And that would be the 8-point position right there. No, that's the 6-point position, my apologies. That's the 8-point position in the Tanner Parts, and that's the 10-point position that is 12, 15, 18, and then 25. A big gap from 1st to 2nd. And Drew Webb knows that, but he may have used up his stuff there. Crampton trying to get back around him for that 2nd position, and he's got a nose to the inside in the turn 2. And that's good for Matt Tuck, trying to pull away from these guys, trying to get his first win of the BodyArmor Pro Series. Of course, Justin Zeidel's the only other driver below him in points with the race win this season. Matt Tuck is 57 points behind, like you said. But a win here, and then a couple of good runs at Double Dega, and then all of a sudden he could be the points leader. That's just the nature of this championship format when you go to places like Talladega. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's got 3rd quickest lap right now, which doesn't mean much at Talladega, but that's a good starting position to start that first race there. And we'll have to see if he can hold on to this race victory and close in on the points. Crampton would love to finish ahead of Drew Webb, because Crampton would close within a race win worth of points of that 13 if he finishes ahead of him in the top 10. And that would give Crampton a great opportunity. Drew Webb has fallen to 4th, trying to get back around Igor Barreto right there. And a slingshot move to the inside for that position. But Drew Webb slipping back just a little bit. These top 4 are pulled away. Dylan Matthews and Tanner Parton all on their own right there. And then you got Stapleton, who has gotten around Turner. He's pulling away from the 82. And now you have Justin Zeidel and Derek Hamill looking to join the top 10 and get points here today at the Oregon Motor Speedway.
I think this might be the battle we're just going to have to watch between Crampton and Webb. Because right now, and again, 27 points, then 18 to 15, that would put Crampton within within distance of passing Webb at the end of the first Double Dega race. Right now, the way he's looking around Matt Tuck's bumper, he might be looking for more of a 10-point instead of a 3-point, as he's going to look to the inside. This is going to be a very risk-reward move if he can get it, if he can pull it off. Is he going to make the send? He's going to at least hold it through 1 and 2. He's going to have to make the move now, and he is. He's starting to get past him.
And Crampton
did he?
Back to the race lead, or at least trying to do so. Tuck has a run in the outside lane right here for that position. But Crampton has the inside lane right there, and Crampton has taken it back away here on lap 34. We've got 7 laps to go here at the Oregon International Speedway. And Travis Crampton holding on to this race lead, but Matt Tuck does not want him to have it easy. And he's got a nose back to the inside for the top position. Keep in mind, the top 3 running right now will all be in the race on Saturday. The Lumen Oregon Invitational for the Wawa Cup Series. Of course, the ratings stay from how it was at the end of the season, so you can expect the same drivers to run up front. And guess what? All 3 of these guys were very strong this past season. And they're definitely learning a lot here today going into that race on Saturday. Barreto is simply just an owner in that race, and Drew Webb will still be his driver for that one. But Barreto wants to be ahead of that 13 here today and close in on him in the championship standings going into Talladega. But how about Matt Tuck back to the inside? He's back out front. The 79 has been the strongest car of the day, but will he get the most important lap?
We're going to have to see. I love the move out of Crampton, because you could tell he wanted the race win in 1 lap and not let Webb catch up. Webb almost did, but then Tuck got around him, and you could tell maybe Crampton let Tuck go a little bit just so that Webb wouldn't catch up, especially with Barreto then challenging him and getting by him, as we can see back behind these two. Just have to see what kind of move Crampton wants to make.
They got 3Y going on back here. Boy. That's Williams and Caleb Rose getting into it. No. That's Williams and Zeidel with contact. We're at the point of no return as well, so if they wreck, that's going to end it. That was very tight. What happened to Stapleton? Stapleton's still ahead of these guys. Never mind. And then you got Hamill and Bartow and Rose with those last points paying positions right now. It is a mess back there, and that's all you got to do.
Oh, boy.
That's all you got to do. Travis Crampton takes the race lead away from Matt Tuck. Here we go to 3 laps to go here at Oregon for Travis Crampton, but Matt Tuck's going to go back again to the inside. And who knows who's going to end up getting this race victory, because they keep on swapping positions. Don't look now. Here comes Drew Webb as well, looking to steal it from these guys. He's got 2.5 laps to do it.
Crampton made a big move. He made it quick, but Tuck's not going to let him by. And you know Crampton's looking in that rear view mirror this entire time. He does not want Webb by him. Might just let Tuck clear him if he can, just to hold him off. He's not going to let Tuck clear him. I'm going to start questioning things now. 2 laps to go. Crampton looking. Oh, man, here comes Webb. Webb might get around him if he can get the run now.
I don't know if he's going to be able to. Crampton will clear. So Crampton still has a shot at this one. He's going to have one more shot at this one. And he's going to have an opportunity because Drew Webb's pushing him, and that 37 is going to have a huge run going down the front stretch. Here we go. White flag in the air here at the Oregon International Speedway for Matt Tuck. Will he be able to hold off Travis Crampton on this final lap? He's got enough of a gap right now, and Drew Webb's looking for second on Crampton. And that right there might do it. Those guys going side by side for second might seal, and how about Matt Tuck? Going to be his second win of the month here on AG the channel, and definitely a huge one for him as he's going to come in at turn number 4. Matt Tuck is going to win the Oregon 100K, and I think Drew Webb barely got Crampton to the line for that second position, which means Drew Webb's going to have a significant points lead on the field going in the Double Dega a couple of weeks from now. But Matt Tuck gets the win here in the Oregon 100K in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
And there's a part of me that thinks Crampton really should have just given up the Tuck and tried to hold off Webb. You could tell he tried to pull back into position, but Webb just really wanted security, and he gets it in the end. Matt Tuck, I mean, clearly the best car out there. Fought Crampton our pole sitter till the very end, and in the end may have benefited from some championship considerations from a couple of the drivers around him. Hey, a win is a win, and again, with Double Dega coming up, all you need to do is really have 2 good drives and 2 bad drives out of some of the championship contenders, and suddenly you're right there in the championship picture with 1 race to go. So great win out of Tuck, and just interesting, I mean, points as well. You got Bartow finishing in the top 10, you got Stapleton finishing top 10, but you don't got Blaine Keys. That means Webb is going to be a good country mile ahead of most of the field coming into Double Dega.
But then again, just like you said, it's going in the Double Dega, not 1 but 2 Talladega races. Both were full points, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that alive and who comes out of that event in championship contention going into the Georgia 150K at Atlanta. But Matt Tuck, he still has a shot at this title. He almost doubled the amount of points that he gained this season with this win. And that is going to shoot him up a little bit closer. It's going to take a couple more wins. He's going to need to at least win 1 more race to have a shot. And he's going to have to point every single race until the finale, including the finale, to win this championship, I do believe. But Drew Webb, clearly going to be the points leader at the end of this one. And like you said, Eddie, Blaine Keys, not even in the top 10. He's going to fall back. Bart is going to just gain a couple of points, but he's going to fall back. Crampton's actually going to move up, probably to second in the standings, but even he is going to be beyond a race win worth of points. So Drew Webb has a full race win now on the field going in the Double Dega. And if he wins that first Dega race and he points his way in that second one, he could clinch the championship a race early. Going to be fascinating to see if he does that. And it wouldn't be the first time that's happened this year either. But what a race here at Oregon. And I know you're looking forward to the Wawa Cup Series Invitational race, the Lumen Oregon Invitational on Saturday here. After what we saw here today, how do you think that one's going to play out for 50 laps and a cycle of pit stops in that race?
Oh boy, with anything like what we saw today, we are in for a treat. I mean, definitely going to see a lot of crazy packs. You're definitely going to see the drivers who are best move up to the front. True for Igor Barreto going from the last row to 4th today. Man, I mean, yeah, there's nothing else to say, but I'm excited. I'm ready to go for Saturday.
And then tomorrow night, we got Bristol in the Turkey Hill Truck Series as well, so keep your eye out for that. And I'm excited to see how that one goes, because we've had a very interesting first 4 races in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and I don't think any one driver has really pulled out ahead, as that's the guy who's going to win the championship quite yet. So we'll have to see how Bristol ends up shaking out. And then next week it's Michigan for those guys. So definitely going to be fascinating. There we go. There we go. Hey, I got the bewildering comment in yesterday. No, for the truck race. The truck race on whatever it was the last race I did. The truck race at Watkins Glen. I know I said bewildering. So Andrew, you do owe me $5, which, you know, I'll be seeing you a lot over the next couple of weeks, or, well, last week. This coming weekend, you know, you owe me $5. You don't, Eddie. Andrew does. That's what he said. So we'll get to that. Matt Tuck gets the win here at Oregon. And we got some great races coming up this weekend. Like I said, the Rocky Ridge Trucks 250 and the Turkey Hill Truck Series tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Bristol. And then we've got ourselves the Wall Cup Series Lumen Oregon Invitational, the first of 4 invitational races for the Wall Cup Series this fall. And we have 30 drivers who signed up for that race, so it won't be the full field, but we got 30 drivers, and all the drivers who are up there battling for that championship going to be in it. Going to be fun to see them race it out on this racetrack with their full ratings as well, so watch out for that one. It's going to be a fun race there, and we're going to have Brennan in the booth for that as well, because this is his racetrack after all, and it just makes sense for him to be in the booth to call it with us. But thank you so much, Eddie, for joining me here tonight. Congratulations to Matt Tuck on his race victory here in the BodyArmor Pro Series at Oregon, and we will see you guys for Double Dega, which is the Thursday and Friday before the real-life Talladega race, October 3rd and October 4th, right here on AG, the channel. So we got ourselves about 2.5 weeks until the next 2 events of the BodyArmor Pro Series. Those are going to be a lot of fun for the Grattan Industries Double Dega, Race 1 and Race 2 coming up in just a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for watching once again. Here are the points for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 12 races, and I will see you guys later.